It's the trip of a lifetime for two local veterans. Their special honor flight to D.C. right now at 10.
And how today's school shooting in Waukesha may impact the discussion on school resource officers here in Madison.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Two veterans are just returning home from a first-of-its-kind Badger honor flight.
This one was a bit different than the typical trip. Madeline O'Neill back from the return celebration with what makes this one so special, Maddie?
Well, usually these flights, about 5 a year, take nearly 100 veterans each time to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials standing in their honor. Tonight's flight took just the two veterans and their guardians, making sure they get the chance to experience this opportunity while they still can.
Just amazing.
Things may have started rolling at 4:30 in the morning.
Definitely worth it.
But it's never too early to begin the trip of a lifetime.
I think it means quite a lot.
Now, at the end of the day, a party is planned as family and friends await the return of Vietnam veteran Richard James and World War II veteran Frank Shakespeare.
Frank has been such a good friend of ours for a while now, and we just wanted to be able to come and clap and cheer when he made his way back from the honor flight.
The veterans are back from a donated charter flight with an experience they likely would have missed out on otherwise.
Well, this one's particularly great for Frank. Frank's memory isn't what it used to be.
The Badger honor flight has a long wait list.
Right now, we've got like 1,300 Vietnam vets signed up.
But volunteers put together this special trip to Washington, D.C. to keep the terminally ill veterans from waiting any longer.
It's pretty emotional for me, too, that they're enjoying the trip and it's happy for them.
Waiting to see the memorials honoring the years of their lives poured into service.
To recognize what they've done for us.
And to receive the recognition that for some has been a long time coming.
As you know, the Vietnam veterans, when they came back, were not welcomed very good. So right now, they're getting a pretty good welcome when they come back.
It was exciting.
Welcome home, sir.
Frank Shakespeare's guardian on the trip is his son-in-law, Matt, also a veteran.
It was an unbelievably moving event for us both. You know, just to honor him, a World War II veteran, to take him around and see the memorials and then have so many people show their gratitude for his service.
A trip worth the wait that comes just in time.
Honor flight people are amazing. The things that they do for our veterans is just remarkable. It was a really special trip.
4 veterans were originally slated to go on the trip today, but one had to go to the hospital yesterday and his friend stayed home with him. Now, more information about these trips can be found on the Badger Honor Flight's website. We'll link to that on our website, channel3000.com as well.
These are always so awesome to see and so richly
absolutely.
deserved. Maddie, thank you.
Well, those Wisconsin veterans were awfully lucky today, making their flight on time to come back here to Wisconsin. Much of the east and northeast has been getting hit hard by a winter storm. Mother Nature has been complicating air travel. More than 14,000 flights have been delayed in the last 48 hours. 1,700 others were canceled. Let's get a look at our first alert forecast now. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi.
Well, you know, that was the same storm system that hit the West Coast on Thanksgiving and then hit Wisconsin, Minnesota so hard over the weekend. But now things are pretty quiet around here. We actually have some slightly milder weather out to the west that's spreading some clouds into the state. A little bit of light snow up in northern Wisconsin, but for the most part, things are pretty quiet. High temperatures today made it into the lower to middle 30s. A little colder than yesterday by a couple of degrees, but look at the temperatures now. Generally in the upper 20s. Those temperatures haven't moved very much through the evening hours. It is colder to the north where there's a little more snow on the ground, especially north of Wisconsin Dells. Temperatures will drop into the middle 20s. The skies turn cloudy overnight. We'll start turning sunny tomorrow with a high temperature of 39. And later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that might even include a 40-degree plus temperature by Sunday of the weekend.
Gary, thank you. 2 separate incidents today in Waukesha involving students bringing guns to school. One of them ending with a teenager being shot by police. At Waukesha South High School, a student brought a gun to school, and when confronted by the school resource officer, the 17-year-old refused to give up that weapon. The classroom was evacuated, the school placed on lockdown, and additional officers were called in. The Waukesha police chief says one of the officers fired when the student pointed the gun at officers. We are told the student is now in stable condition at the hospital. And then a short while later, another reported incident at Waukesha North High School. A student there was said to have brought a gun to school. According to police, the school was also placed on lockdown and searched. Officers located the student off school grounds at a house, took him into custody. Police emphasized this is a separate incident from the one at Waukesha South.
The report of an SRO stepping in and stifling this incident will likely play a part in the decision the Madison School Board has to make next year when they will vote whether to keep all 4 SROs in the local high schools. Amy Reed spoke with the board president today and joins us now to explain her perspective.
The debate on having police officers in schools hasn't left most school board meetings. Board President Gloria Reyes told me she hears what protesters are saying, but incidents like these can't be ignored. Still, she's not sure how exactly today's shooting will play into a vote in June, where school board members can decide to get rid of one of the high school resource officers. 3 board members voted against the option to renew an SRO contract earlier this year, though it still narrowly passed 4-3. One of those supporters has since left the board, which could tip the vote the other way with this new member. But she's hesitant to vote against SROs given the current climate in schools.
I hate to say the reality, but until we have stricter gun laws and we are able to better protect our children, SROs and law enforcement, our first responders, are a critical partner in this.
She said there are more factors here, including how teachers and other people in schools are trained. This vote coming up in June is the second time the board will have the option to cut an SRO from one of the schools. The last time was in September, and they chose to keep all of them in place.
New video tonight of a brawl on State Street this weekend. Multiple people were arrested and cited, and responding officers initially called it bedlam and insanity. About 15 people got in a fight inside a Qdoba restaurant. This was over a group cutting in line there. The green barn door right next door caught it on camera. The fight spilling out into the street, officers quickly stepping in. It was handled in less than 10 minutes. Police say they had to use pepper spray on people who became hostile towards them and tried to intervene. Highway 151 in Prairie has just reopened after a crash closed down the northbound lanes for more than 2 hours. This video is from earlier this evening. The DOT says all lanes northbound 151 were affected near County Road, near Reiner Road. They were closed from 7:30 until just about 25 minutes ago at 9:40. We don't have any information yet on if there were any injuries.
A Rock County company says it will be laying off nearly 60 employees starting early next year. Regal Beloit America has given formal notice of a workplace reduction at its Clinton location on Bus Road. They say a total of 59 workers will be affected. Layoffs will begin January 31st of next year. After 7 years on Williamson Street, Underground Butcher is closing. According to an Instagram post, the business's last day will be December 15th. While the storefront itself is closing, Underground meats will be available at other local businesses. And tonight, the Oregon School District held its first of 3 informational meetings about possible changes to next school year. They could affect current attendance boundaries, school start times, and bus routes. The working 2020 to 2021 school day schedule has an earlier start time for elementary students at 7:45 in the morning and a later start time for middle and high school students at 8:30. The district will hold 2 more informational meetings before the official schedule is determined.
The popular Canadian Pacific Holiday train is back in Wisconsin tonight. It will be making several stops in our area later in the week. Today it went through southeastern Wisconsin. Tomorrow it'll make a handful of stops, including Columbus. And then on Wednesday it'll be in Portage, Wisconsin Dells, and Mauston. And the Packers have chosen the tree that will be the centerpiece decoration for the holiday season. It came from the front yard of Dwayne and Judy Fritz of Green Bay. They planted that tree 25 years ago when they first moved into their home. Both of them avid Packer fans. They say it's an honor that their tree was chosen to be displayed at Lambeau Field.
We talked about doing it to, it would be a nice tree for somebody someday. We talked about it the last couple of years, and we decided this year would be the year to do it, and we sent it into the Packers, and it's just awesome that it was picked. Just awesome.
Now, the official lighting ceremony will take place on Saturday. The Fritzes say they will be there to attend the festivities.
Also at Lambeau today, hundreds of trees are being collected for the annual Trees for Troops program. These trees were all grown in northeast Wisconsin and will soon be headed to families of those in our military. It's part of the nationwide program, which is now in its 15th year. Since 2005, U.S. growers from 29 states have been providing trees for the program as part of an effort to remember and thank those who serve in the armed forces. Still ahead tonight, what we can expect from the weather in this first week of December.
But first, the story of a second chance you'll only see on News 3 Now. We'll meet the UW wrestler who's making the best of his second chance when we come back.
Take 20.
Don't hear much about Wisconsin wrestling, but there's an All-American standout on the team who wouldn't have been here without someone believing in him.
As Danica Lewis and photojournalist Steph Olson show us tonight, it's one thing to get a second chance, but what you do with it makes all the difference.
If you do get that second chance, you've got to take it and run with it.
Let's go, let's go. Come on, Darius, turn it up.
The thing is, when it comes to wrestling, there's not a ton of forward motion. But if you get some space, a little room to advance, it can mean everything.
I knew once I had that opportunity, I was going to give everything I got to kind of, go all in and do the very best I can.
Seth Gross does just that every single bout.
You got to control the little things that you can.
An NCAA champion, a member of the USA Junior World Team, an aspiring Olympian, Gross is a man of faith. The mat's his second sanctuary and a place of salvation from the past. Because just as one move can make the difference, a misstep can cost you just as much.
3 former Iowa wrestlers now face charges in a string of burglaries.
19-year-old Seth Gross.
19-year-old Seth Gross.
Also charged with possession of alcohol.
Each with 5 counts of burglary and 1 count of theft.
On the top of his game as a Hawkeye, Gross was arrested with 2 of his teammates and suspended from the wrestling team. He found himself back in his Minnesota hometown, working at Target, far from his dream.
I think about that a lot, and it's just crazy the opportunities that I've been given through everything that's happened, and just thankful to be where I'm at.
I want to be able to give someone a second chance. I want to be able to take care of somebody that is down and out.
Hit it!
Chris Bono was at South Dakota State at the time, looking for strong recruits.
Pressure, pull!
Looked me dead in the eye and basically said, I did everything you heard about. I made the mistakes, And if you give me a second chance, I will never disappoint you or ever let it happen again.
Coach believed him, knowing some things
Hustle, effort, attitude.
you can't teach. Still, Gross had one more challenge to pin: his health.
It was out of my control completely, right? At Iowa, it was a mistake that I made that caused that. Now it was something that I couldn't really do anything about.
A spinal injury Gross had suffered in high school progressed to the point where he'd wrestle one day and barely be able to stand the next.
This is something I need to deal with right now, and instead of prolonging the issue and making it worse.
The solution meant months off the mat and sitting out his senior season.
I do specifically remember one doctor saying, you know, we don't typically see athletes compete at a high level after this surgery. And that's something that kind of is in the back of my head pushing me every day, honestly. It's something, you know, I like to prove people wrong and go out there and, you know, do what you're not supposed to do.
It was Coach Bono who called him with another opportunity. The NCAA let him transfer to UW for grad school and compete one more year.
You can't ask for anything more.
Which brings us here, Gross's old stomping grounds, where he's now competing for a new team.
Both guys are working pretty hard here, I promise you.
As a new person.
It's all about keeping a positive attitude, knowing that it's going to get better.
His undefeated streak as a Badger may be broken, but that faith is certainly not.
No matter what obstacles in life you're going through or things that you're struggling with, it's always going to be a day-by-day process of getting better and getting to where you want to be.
Because every day, every match is a W when you're not wrestling with your past, but pushing, fighting for a future, proving you're worth that second chance.
To this day, it's been the best decision, you know, in my life right now.
Danica Lewis, News 3 Now.
The next goal for Gross, an Olympic gold medal in wrestling.
He has already qualified for the 2020 Olympic trials. Those happen in April, so good luck to him for the rest of the Badger season and leading up to that.
Turn to your forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Kidalty joining us. Things nice and calm out there to start the work week.
Yeah, after a very busy last week, this week is the polar opposite. Just nothing really going on. That's good, at least for a while, especially as you're in between the holidays. Three things you need to know in the forecast. At this point, it looks like we'll see plenty of sunshine over the next few days. Partly sunny skies are in the forecast every day through Saturday, other than a cloudy start to the day tomorrow. Little, if any, precipitation expected through Saturday as well. Might see a couple of snow flurries with a weak cold front on Thursday night, and that's about it. Next rain chance will be on Sunday, and it will probably be in the form of rain with temperatures in the middle 40s. In fact, if you look at high temperatures over the next 10 days, you can see our temperatures above normal, a brief drop in temperatures on Friday, and then back up into the upper 30s Saturday and mid 40s on Sunday before the temperatures drop off again a little bit for the early part of next week. But as we take a look at Doppler track tonight, the clouds that are coming in from the west are accompanied by some light snow farther up to the north. This is actually warmer air that's moving eastward across the country and will bring our temperatures a little bit milder readings for tomorrow. Now, last night, temperatures were below zero across much of northern Minnesota and even into northwestern Wisconsin while we stayed in the mid-20s. Reason for that? Look at the snow cover up there. About 2 feet of snow near Lake Superior, about a foot as far south as the Twin Cities and Eau Claire into Rhinelander and Wausau. But here in southern Wisconsin, you can see very little snow from Madison southward and just a couple of inches, mainly north of Wisconsin Dells, and that's what fell yesterday. So the low temperatures, a little bit colder over that snow cover, teens there, but generally 20s elsewhere, and we'll see similar readings for tonight. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam downtown Madison. Very quiet out there tonight. Not much in the way of a breeze either, and that's good news. As we check out our almanac for today, our high temperature this afternoon in the middle 30s, 35 the high, right where we should be, 25 the low last night. And temperatures have been nearly steady over the last few hours. We're 28 now with partly cloudy skies. The humidity at 85%. So as the humidity goes up, cloud cover comes in, temperatures will probably only fall a few more degrees. In fact, right now they're down into the teens in parts of north central Wisconsin, Marshfield right now at 19, but in the upper 20s here and out to the west where there's cloudy skies, temperatures are generally in the upper 20s. Now, the storm system that we had mainly to the north of us over the weekend has now shifted to the east coast with a lot of snow and wind from New York northeastward into Boston. That storm will eventually move out to sea during the day tomorrow. But the rest of the country looking pretty quiet right now. The clouds, like I said, that are moving through our area are actually with mild westerly winds aloft. It's starting to bring in Pacific air, and that usually means that our temperatures will go up a little bit. As we look at the current weather map, you can see there's really no cold fronts, no warm fronts to speak of, just a large area of high pressure pressure with a couple of little troughs of low pressure, just bringing some clouds and a few flurries. Temperatures right now, not really bitterly cold anywhere, but not very mild either. Generally 20s and 30s, but it's typical for this time of year. For tonight, look for skies to become mostly cloudy. It'll be seasonally cold, a low of 24. Tomorrow morning, clouds will give way to partly sunny skies, high temperature topping out at 39 degrees. On future track, you can see those temperatures dropping into the middle 20s overnight, and then we'll see partly sunny skies tomorrow with highs in the upper 30s. Tomorrow night, those temperatures drop back into the upper 20s, partly cloudy skies, and on Wednesday, look for high temperatures in the upper 30s. As we look at the 7 to 10-day forecast, upper 30s expected for Thursday. Again, maybe a flurry chance Thursday night, and then Friday a little colder, but then we're back up to the upper 30s. Saturday, mid-40s on Sunday with a chance of a rain shower, and then that's followed by temperatures that'll be a little colder for the early part of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you.
You're welcome.
Milwaukee Bucks, no problem with the New York Knicks tonight. A dunk fest at Fiserv Forum with highlights coming up.
News 3.
Well, the Bucks coming off a huge win against the Hornets, beating them by 41 points. They're on a tear early this season, winning 11 in a row so far. Hosting the Knicks tonight, and the Knicks, well, they're just really bad. They've won 4 games this season so far, and Giannis taking advantage here, spinning in the lane up to drop some thunder there. Check out the replay. Bucks up early. Giannis with 29 points, 15 rebounds. Later, Chris Middleton playing some defense here. The steal, and then he's all by himself, so he's going to dunk it too. 16 points for him. George Hill doing some work off the bench, pulling up here, then knocking down a three. And then later on, spotting up from the other side of the court. Hits a 3 and 1 this time. 14 points for him tonight, including 3 3-pointers. Bucks beat the Knicks at 132-88. They won back-to-back games by more than 40 points for the first time in franchise history. Well, today should probably be a holiday in the state of Wisconsin. It's Aaron Rodgers' birthday. He's 36 years old, and fun fact, the Packers quarterback has only thrown 36 interceptions since the start of the 2013 season. So he's basically on the Tom Brady plan right now, it seems, aka an ageless wonder. Rodgers led the team down the field yesterday against the Giants, throwing for 243 yards and 4 touchdowns. So when head coach Matt LaFleur was asked today what makes him so good, well, it's not just him, it's a team effort.
Yeah, I think it's not only the quarterback, it's the other 10 guys around him have to be playing at a high level in order to do some of those types of things. And so, you know, we always talk about all 11, and it truly is going to take everybody to be at their best in order for us to go to where we want to go.
The Badgers making their 3rd appearance in the last 5 years at the Big Ten Championship. Now, unfortunately for Wisconsin, they have yet to win any of those. The last time the Badgers won a Big Ten title, you got to go all the way back to 2012 when Monte Ball was named MVP. But a familiar opponent this time around, an Ohio State squad that the Badgers lost to in Columbus. Now, that doesn't mean the second time around will be any easier, but they're counting down the minutes regardless.
To me, it's kind of easy, but, you know, I think just as a team as a whole, like, you know, we have it up in our locker room 5 days, and it's counting down every second, so literally. So this is the biggest opportunity we got, and this is one of our main goals that we got. So, you know, we're definitely ready for it.
It's a championship game, you know. It means more. You know, it's bigger than what it was before. I'm not saying you took it lightly before, but it means more to everybody, them too. You know, so it's gonna be a better game.
And the Badgers volleyball team will host an NCAA regional at the Fieldhouse. They are the number 4 seed overall in this year's NCAA tournament. Now, did they expect to be one of the 4 hosting sites? Well, Kelly Sheffield knew they would be in the mix, but he said no matter where you play, you still have to play good, solid volleyball. So expect a solid showing at the Fieldhouse on Friday, 7 p.m. against Illinois State. We'll be right back.
Gary's back. One final check of the forecast.
Well, things are pretty quiet out there. We're starting to see some clouds moving in. Temperatures are in the middle to upper 20s, and they're not going to move very much. We'll probably fall a couple more degrees, but the cloud cover will keep us from getting too cold. And you can see not much of a breeze out there, so not much of a wind chill to speak of, so that makes it feel a little more comfortable. 7 to 10 day forecast, upper 30s the next 3 days, a little colder on Friday, a little warmer for Saturday. Sunday, mid 40s, maybe some rain showers. That'll change to light snow on Monday. It'll be windy and colder, a little cold for Tuesday, and then rain and snow about the middle of next week.
All right, Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Now.